I'm going to be showing you how to clean your Tippman Alpha Black Elite. The first thing you're going to want to do is to take off all extras like your stock, or I have my scope instead of my rail. You're going to want to take off your cyclone feeder and then your barrel, and also take this out and also your barrel shroud. So I'll come back when that's done. So we're back, and now we just have the basic gun right here. And I forgot to mention, for everything, you're just going to need to use this basic Allen wrench right here to unscrew all the. There's going to be a screw right here that you're going to need to unscrew with this, and then a screw right here for your barrel shroud. And now what you're going to want to do is just take this little cap off if you still have it on. And what you're going to want to do is remove all these different screws around this shroud to take it off and remove these two screws down here. I'll come back when that's done. Now what you're going to want to do is, once you have all the screws removed, you're just going to want to separate the two halves. And when you separate them, be careful because there's a couple springs right in here, and your detent might pop out, and your trigger spring and your sear spring might pop out. So I'll come back when this is done. Now we have the two halves separated. When I separated it, it took me a while, but the sear spring kept on, this spring kept on popping out, and like that. And also, when you take it apart, this will also pop out. Now what you're going to want to do is just to remove this, and I just usually take it apart like that, and you have your bumper right here, and then what you're going to want to do is remove this, and then I just rotate this whole assembly forward and pull that out, and then I pull this out and then take out your detent. And then I usually take out this spring and my that one's in there, and then that spring, and then you're gonna want to take this out, and then there's gonna be another small piece inside. As you can see, this is really dirty because I haven't really cleaned it. I've played a couple days without cleaning this. I've been pretty bad, so I just decided to make this video. And then that doesn't move, okay? So now what you're just going to want to do is like take a microfiber rag, or really any rag that has fine fibers, and just really clean these off good and make sure they're nice and clean. And I'll come back when I have them cleaned off, and I will show you how to put it all back together. Alright guys, so I have everything nice, cleaned up, shining, and you're going to want to lube this O-ring right here. Make sure it's nice and greasy. And then you're going to want to start putting it back together. So you're going to want to put this in so that that hole faces up like that. And then you're going to want to take your detent and put it in like that. If you put it in backwards, if you put it in this way, it's going to be bad because when this comes forward, it'll just shear it right off, and you don't want that. You'll be calling for a new detent. And you just pop that right back in there. Then you're going to want to take this and place it down like that. Oops, other way, sorry. I always do that backwards. And so it's like that. You're just going to want to take this and put the bar in. Just push it forward again like that. Your detent might pop out like that. And then take this part right here and slide it in. Make sure the holes are facing up. And you just take that, and you're going to want to take your cocking handle and put it in so the holes are facing left to right from where you're sitting. So it slides in just like that. And you're going to want to take this, put your bumper back on, and then slide it into the hole like that. And I usually don't put that back on until I'm putting it all back together. Then you're going to want to take your sear spring, I think that is, and pop that back in. You're going to want to take your trigger spring and pop it back in if you took it out. So now we have everything like that, and now we're going to want to put the body back on. So now we have this half on. So now what we're going to want to do is just take all of our screws and stuff and just screw it back on tight. And I don't know if you guys will have the same problem as me, but right here your hopper release, mine is kind of touchy. So what I do is I take that, when I put this screw in, I put it in really, I don't put it in too loose, I put it in pretty loose so that it'll still move. And I'll come back when I have all the screws on. Alright, I'm back. And before you put this screw on, which is the screw right here that I have, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your barrel shroud on before you do that. So I'm just going to pop that on, then put that in and tighten it down. And yeah, I'm just going to tighten it down all the way. So now that we have this on, we can go ahead and start putting on all of our accessories or add-ons back on with our barrel shroud and our cyclone feed system. Then our barrel, my barrel's insanely huge, and like that. Alright, so I'll come back when that's done and wrap this up. Everything, as you can see, I have everything back on. I have my stock, my barrel shroud, barrel, and my cyclone feed system, and as you can see, it fires just fine. So that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.